There we go. Okay. All the different rooms. First things first. You cannot start this problem yet until you rewrite. Remember yesterday we talked about if you have a minus and a negative, or two negatives or two minuses right next to each other, what does it form? Positive. So when I take these two negatives and make the positive, are there any negatives? You have to rewrite first. And I like that visual representation because this negative and this negative are right next to each other. So when I rewrite all of this, it becomes -8. That is a plus 20. That's what I need to start with. Give me a thumbs up if you did that. Ooh, okay, so when listen, and I've been seeing this a lot in a lot of my other classes. If I do this, so should you. So what I put on the board is not for me, it's for you. So if you don't have this the way it is in your notes, this would be a good thing to have in your notes. Does that make sense? Even if you have to rewrite it again and say my version, Mr. H's version. Everybody with me? Okay, so now I can circle. Those are different signs, so absolute value of -8, absolute value of 20. This way. Video's going here, I'll take this. See, you weren't going to do it. No, oh my gosh. You had one job. One job. Okay, so the absolute value of -8 is 8, absolute value of 20 is 20. Different signs, which means we're going to subtract. So I do 20 minus 8, which is 12. 20 was my big number. It's positive, this stays positive. Okay? So again, this rewrite has to be first. So you have to rewrite first. Okay? From there, I can circle this -17 and bring it down. So now I have positive 12, -17. Again, do the absolute values. Absolute value of 12 is 12. Absolute value of -17 is 17. Different signs. 17 minus 12 gives me 5. The big number is 17. So it's negative. Very good, Christian. Now I'm bringing down the -4. So it's plus a -4. Notice how each step is shown. Try not to do it all as big one thing. Right, Violet? Okay, so going to circle each individual term. These are like signs, the same signs. So we just add them. 5 plus 4 is 9. And we put back the original sign, which was negative. Almost done. -25 comes down. Circle, circle. Are they the same sign or different signs? Same. So we add 25 plus 9 is 34. Put back the original sign. But again, the key to this is this very first step. Minus a negative has to be rewritten. You cannot start it. If you see, again, I know this is a silly thing, but this has always helped me. If I've got two negatives right next to each other, it literally forms one positive with no negatives left over. Like both of those lines are making the plus sign, right? So that's why they're gone. Everybody with me? Okay. So before we get to questions, I told you that my goal was to bring a little bit more of faith in here. And I'm struggling and I'm trying, but this is what called to me today, was Psalm 51. I'm going to read verses 1 through 6. It's really verse 6 that I want to get to, but I like the whole thing. Have mercy on me, O God, because of your unfailing love. Because of your great compassion, blot out the stain of my sins. Wash me clean from my guilt. Purify me from my sin. For I recognize my rebellion. It haunts me day and night. Against you and you alone I have sinned. I have done what is evil in your sight. You will be proved right in what you say, and your judgment against me is just. For I was born a sinner. Yes, from the moment my mother conceived me. Here we are. but you desire honesty from the heart, teaching me wisdom even there. You desire honesty from the heart. What I take away from that is, God knows. God knows whether I'm lying to myself, not out loud even, but to myself. And what I say to you is, hey, who has questions on this? And you're all like, oh man, I missed this and I don't see how. You're lying to yourself. That's not, God wants you to be honest. Don't be embarrassed. Don't be stressed that, oh, Mr. H has to, okay, who cares? I want to help you. Does that make sense? So if I'm like, hey, let's get our notebooks out and start the warm up. Stuck. Honesty. And this is why I told you earlier, I was like, hey, I'm going to read a verse that's going to match with that. So honesty, right? So I ask, are there questions on this? Do you see where you made your mistakes? Because did anybody get this one right? No. So do we see our mistakes? Go ahead and get out your homework. Your homework was page 8, numbers 5 through 17, odd, and number 38. You get them finished. Next time, don't do it during lunch.
This was the first time I had time to do it. I'm not kidding.
Well, you had time all yesterday, right?
Well, but not that fast.
No, we're studying. That's 38. Good job, guys. Okay. So, as you are checking these, if you missed one, I would write down the correct answer. Make sure that if you are struggling, you have something that denotes, hey, I need to go over this question. Everybody with me? Okay, here we go. Number 5 is 19. Those are different signs, so we subtract, put the sign on the bigger number. 7, same sign, so we just add, put the sign back. Negative 21. Number 9, different signs. Positive 4. Questions on 5, 7, or 9?
What was the answer to 5?
5 was 19. Number 11 is negative 1. 13. This is one that matches up with this. You have to rewrite first. My guess is you might have made a mistake on this one. Okay? So if you rewrite, it becomes negative 8 plus 2, which gives me an answer of negative 6. Okay? Does everybody see what we have to do when we have a minus a negative? Number 15, same idea. Gives me a positive 15. Number 17 is negative 17. Questions on 11 through 17. Number 38 is a word problem. So you need to pick out some of the key words. It says the temperature on a September day is 68. It increases by 14, then decreases 20. Increases is addition, decreases is subtraction. So the expression should read 68 plus 14 minus 20. Our answer, when we simplify that, is 62 degrees. Questions, concerns, problemos. Okay, so we are doing day number 2 of adding and subtracting with positives and negatives. Okay? Not a lot of notes today, I promise. You're really only going to see examples. You're going to see 2 examples unless you'd like to see more. And then I will gladly show more. If this marker doesn't show up really well, just let me know. We are going to, Mr. Riggs, the marker doesn't show up well. Add and subtract decimals. All of the rules about circling and doing everything else stay the same. Nothing changes except the decimals themselves. So here's our example. -3 and 100th. Please don't tell me -3.01. Tenths, hundredths. -3 and 100th. Plus a -11 and 457 thousandths. Tenths, -11 and 4 tenths. -11 and 45 hundredths. -11 and 457 thousandths. Okay? Everybody with me so far? I'm telling you, nothing changes yet. What am I going to circle?
The values.
Yeah, okay. So this is adding and subtracting. Circle the numbers and their
Signs.
and their signs. Thank you, Christian. I love you, man. Thank you for being involved. Y'all, step up. Come on. I know it's the end of the day, okay? I will scream again. I will scream and make y'all just jump. Listen, it's the end of the day. I know I need a little bit of something. Here we go. -3 and 100th, and what else? Somebody other than Christian.
Would you circle the positive with the
What's the sign directly in front? The negative. So we just circle that. So now we're going to add. To do that, we use the absolute values. The absolute value means get rid of the negatives. So I have 3 and 100th. When we add decimals, we want to line up the decimals. Adding and subtracting, we line up the decimals. So I'm going to put a 1, a 1, a decimal, a 4, a 5, a 7. I didn't line up the numbers. What did I line up? The decimals. Everybody with me? I line up the decimals. And we are adding. What goes in these spaces that have nothing?
zeros?
Absolutely. Okay? Have I lost anybody yet? So now we add. 0 and 7 is 7. 1 and 5 is 6. 0 and 4 is 4. The decimals come straight down. 3 plus 1 is 4. 0 plus 1 is 1. So that gives me 14 and 467 thousandths. Is this my answer? Why are you shaking your head no, Christian?
Because it's two negatives, so you
Oh.
can bring the sign back.
Yeah, when you have the same signs, you have to put the original sign back with it. So we got rid of the signs. The original sign was negative. So this leaves me -14 and 467 thousandths. How we feel about that one? All right. I'm just trying to make sure that the video can see stuff. So here's example 2. Let's go. 5 and 7 tenths minus 13. Actually, let's make this 74 hundredths. 13 and 1/10. So 5 and 74 hundredths minus 13 and 1/10. What should I circle? Violet, what do you think?
5 and 74 hundredths.
Awesome. Great job saying that too. So I have 5 and 74 hundredths and what else? John? And 1/10. Yep, when it has one decimal. No, you're fine. And 1/10. So I'm circling the negative. Are those same signs or different signs? Different. So I'm going to come out here and I'm going to do the absolute value. 5 and 7 tenths is 5 and 7 tenths. Absolute value of -13 and 1/10 is, or 74 hundredths, whoop, is 13 and 1/10. Everybody with me? Yes? When they're different signs, do we add or do we subtract? Subtract. Big number minus a small number. So now I have big minus the small. Notice I line up the decimals. What do we put in the place where there's nothing there?
Zeros.
So a 0 goes here, a 0 goes there. Okay, can I do 0 minus 4? Nope, so we have to regroup. So I take from here. 10 minus 4 is 6. Can I do 0 minus 7? Nope, so we regroup. 10 minus 7 is 3. Decimal comes down. Can I do 2 minus 5? No, so we regroup. 12 minus 5 is 7. So now I get 7. I don't know, can we still see this? Yeah. 7 and 36/100ths. Still with me? Is that correct? Why not, Carlo?
Because -13.9 is bigger.
Yeah, the 13 and 1/10, the absolute value is bigger. We put the original sign of that back, and there's my answer. What questions do we have on this? Anybody's?